let's jump into it. And so my name is Danny Kopinga, for those of you that are attending for the first time. Typically, how our master classes go is we'll go through one of the key features within Annuity's Genius, and then I like to usually leave the last 10 minutes or so to actually build a annuity case from one of the attendees. And keep that in mind. If someone has a case in mind that we can build out, we'll use the AI tool to do it. That'll be good because then we can go through the process together. But let me share my screen and we'll jump into today's class. Maximize this. And so there's two things that I wanted to go through, and they're loosely along setting up your account and then utilizing some of the marketing tools within Annuity's Genius to potentially drive additional leads your way. Now, just to be clear, we don't sell leads or do anything like that, but we do have a feature that helps you on your marketing campaigns, hopefully drive eyeballs your way with as far as facilitating the infrastructure to do that. And so initially, when I come into Annuity's Genius, depending on if you have your own account or if you're coming in from an agency, this is probably automatically already done for you, but you're going to want to create a deck. And so if I come up here, you can see I have current products and I have agent. That's just my agent deck. If I'm going to create a new deck, basically what that means is you're going to create the carriers that you're contracted with. So you're only seeing the products that you have access to right now when you're creating cases. The reason being, obviously, is you want to be able to present cases or present products to your clients that you can sell. Now, from like a products comparative standpoint, or just how competitive are your products, you can always look at all products to see. But this is always important when you're initially setting up your account, so you're only seeing products you're utilizing. Now, if you get your Annuity's Genius account from your agency or IMO, the nice thing is this is already done for you. But basically, I'll go to create new deck, and then I'll select my distribution channel. I think in most cases, it's probably going to be independent agent. And then the annuity types as far as your license, typically it's just going to be fixed income and then MIGAs. I'll go create deck. I'll name it. So I'm just going to name this one QC today. I'll go create deck. And then it's pretty straightforward. We have, I believe it's 111, 112-ish carriers. You would just go through and you would check off all the different carriers that you have contracts with. And so I would just go through and click away. I'm just going to randomly click just for the sake of demonstration. I'll save it. And then under each carrier, it's going to have the different products that are there. So you can see most of them are automatically checked already that you can go through and verify. And then once I do that, I'm going to click. It's basically done, ready to go. And if I need to uncheck one of those, I can uncheck that and save that, and that will not show up. So now that I have my deck, you can see I have a bunch of different decks right here. I'll click it, and then that's going to basically only filter through products I can see. The reason I wanted to start off with that is as we move towards the content that I wanted to go with today is if I click on website, basically what this is a out-of-the-box website that is built or comes with your account, I should say, depending on which plan you have with the Annuity's Genius. So the kind of full multimedia view is through our Genius plan, and then the more classic kind of call it analog view is through our Prime plan. The starter plan doesn't come with this feature, but this is basically a website that, like I mentioned before, is pre-built. So I like to call it out of the box because it's, I think, easier to understand that way. So you already have your own subdomain. So in this case, I just have my name, .annuitiesgenius.com. This is customizable. So let's say that you have, let's say that I have my business and I'm called the Annuity Store. This might be already taken, but let's just say that's what I go off of, and I save that may let me do it. Looks like that's available right now. So I have my Annuity Store.annuitiesgenius.com, and you can put your business name right there, so you have that subdomain. And again, it's a .annuitiesgenius.com domain in general. You can customize the color, so I can basically come in and say, let's say that my branding is blue. I can change blue. I can put in my logo right here, the title, obviously, a custom disclaimer that I can put. And then you can see right here on website, underneath website settings, these are the different pages of the site. So if I go to About, it's basically going to take me to the About section that will give me, again, my custom title, intro, which states I'm licensed in. So I could come in here and let's say I'm also licensed in North Carolina. And I'm also licensed in South Carolina and Michigan. I just typed them in, and then it's going to show that up on here as well, where once I save that, now it's updated. Here's all the states I'm licensed in. So you have a little about you section, and then I can go into rates. So if I come into rates, I can select the deck. So if I wanted to go to all products, I could show all products. I don't necessarily want to say that. I'm just going to go to agent because that's my current product deck. And then what that's going to do is if I scroll down, that's going to show different products from a quoting standpoint that someone could click on. And so I'm going to come back to this, but I just wanted to show you this right here because right here's the actual site. This is what it looks like. So it has, let's just open this up in a separate page so we can see the final product and we'll come back to here. So I have retirement planning. It has a video. This is approximately a 7-minute long video that goes through the value of annuities, really built behind guaranteed income and minimizing market risk. So this is great. It stops about every 2 minutes. That allows the prospective client to put in their information. So it again, like a true filter. I have my About Me section right here. You can see it's all on one page. I scroll down. What's an annuity? So I have my MIGAs right here. That gives them a quick explanation. And then it's going to show rates as well. So this is nice because if they're like, oh, you know what? I'm only getting 2% of my CD. 3 years, 6% looks good to me. I'll go learn more. And then basically they'd select which state they're in. They put in their age, retirement, information, net worth. Let's say that you got $1 million, continue. And then they'll put in their information. And as soon as they submit that, that'll then go to you. You'll get an email. And then obviously it'll save them in the CRM part of Annuities Genius. So you have MIGAs right here. You have traditional fixed annuities, fixed index annuities that they can see and basically have an idea with. Again, click on it and it's basically just click through for the quote, how annuities help you retire, just some basic information, and then a kind of general PDF information packet that they get about annuities as well. And then you can see it has my contact information. I'll have my phone number in here. But this basically, if I come back now to the site, you can see it's pre-built. It's in true funnel form. And probably a lot of people already have a website, but this is great if you don't have a website or if you want to utilize this in marketing campaigns that you're doing. So where this works really well too, and where I've seen agents utilize this is, let's say that you're doing Facebook marketing or other social media marketing, and you need to have a link to your site put in there. You can put this one in and it's basically set up like a funnel to where you can see as we click through it, it automatically has a click to capture their information section built in to where it can immediately gather their information. And again, this doesn't have anything to do with us driving eyeballs to your site or anything like that. That would be all in your own efforts. This is basically just the infrastructure to capture those eyeballs. And it's pre-built, it's all already designed and configured for annuities and annuities only. And this is a great part of if you're doing a lot of marketing, you can definitely utilize this as a portion of what your marketing efforts are and set it up. Like we said, it's pre-built already. It's just a matter of putting in your information, then you're good to go. So I have obviously my contact information I can update right there. I have all my links to my socials if I'm active on that. If you have Calendly, you have your Calendly link built into there. If I go into Facebook, this just has some specific Facebook. If you're doing like Facebook marketing where a lot of people do lead gen, you can put in an image or for like that they can click on that has it more specifically built for that. And then I also have advanced, which is just my custom HTML code that I can put in. If you don't know what that is, you don't really have to mess around with that as well. This is just for tracking on different things. So basically, it's super useful. Again, leads are usually top of mind for everybody. I don't think anybody really has an issue where they don't have enough leads. And this is just a great resource to help utilize on top of everything else when it comes to just having something that you can help direct traffic to. And like I said, you could basically do a Facebook marketing campaign, utilize the subdomain, and they basically have somewhere where your whatever your daily spend is on your marketing, they can go to this page, and then this helps funnel them your way in addition to whatever else you're doing. And so we don't really talk about this part a lot. I feel a lot of it's just talking about the actual case build. But again, if you don't have any leads to build cases on here, I don't know how much the tool is going to really do for you. And so we added this feature to help just augment whatever other lead gen efforts you're doing to help drive eyeballs. Any questions with this piece at all on the marketing side that anybody may have? All right, that's good. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. You can see it's really easy to use. And again, the as far as the plans go, so we have our three Annuity Genius plans, the Starter, Prime, and Genius. The multimedia video, what we call our webinar funnel, where it's built kind of like a video that has a breakdown, that's only available in the Genius plan. The more classic view is in our Prime plan, and then the Starter plan doesn't have this feature. So definitely I would mess around with this, try to utilize it depending on what your marketing process looks like, because question we got, so we need to purchase a domain and point it towards the website. So no, this comes with a subdomain already. So basically I already have this, in this case, annuitystore.annuitiesgenius.com. You don't need to purchase that. If you already have your own website or planning on getting your own website, you could do that. And then if you wanted to use this while you set that up, you could just, let's say that I had my own website that was like DannySellsAnnuities.com. And I hadn't built out the website yet, but I already have the domain. I could just post this hyperlink in my website that I have and have it forward all that traffic to my own website to this website. I might be losing some people if you haven't messed around with the online marketing or how to build a website or whatever. But no, you don't have to go anywhere else to buy a website. If you don't already have one, you could use this. It covers the domain and everything like that. That's just an add-on when it comes to that. So a couple other questions that have popped up. Is this is live? Another question is, what is the cost? So if you go to a website, it's 99, 179, and 249. And then the client, they have to choose their state on there, and so they can't move forward until they choose their state. Obviously, you want to know that so you know what products are available on there. All right, so that was good. Now we have a lot of time that we can go through a case, which I think a lot of people want to see anyways, on building out an actual annuity quote. And so let me come back here to dashboard. And so I logged into my Annuities Genius, and let's pause, and I'll give everybody a chance, or whoever wants to, I guess I should say, does anyone have like a case? When I say case, like a client scenario that we can build out in GrantAI right now. At a minimum, I need to know male, female, how old they are, which state they're in, and then the more details, the better, because we can get better feedback from the AI tools we build this out. And so I'll give someone a chance, or whoever a chance to just post that in the chat, and then we'll get that built out. And let's see if I'm just going through all the Q&A, make sure we're good to go so far. All right. So does anyone want to throw in a case? If not, no big deal. I have one as well that I can build out, so we're not just sitting around waiting. All right, so we got a couple coming in. All right, so husband 82, age 56, 80, 125. I got a 70-year-old with 125K. Anything else beyond that? All right. The more info, the better, because then we don't have to get, all right, roll over. All right, let's go with this one that has a little bit more detail. All right. So we're gonna use AI for this one. So I'm gonna go create case. And I'm gonna say we have male. So I'm gonna say we have Jerry. I'm gonna say Lee. He's 72. He's in North Carolina. We'll use that example. North Carolina. Continue. What do we have? So he has $145,000. So in this case, what does he want? We'll say, all right, so I'm going off of Slane's. It looks like he's looking for income, and then male, and we'll say he wants immediate income is what it looks like. And then it looks like we had 145,500 coming from a 401k. Continue. All right, so we'll use that one. All right, so that basically just built out the case. I'm going to put no other notes in this case. Actually, let's just say highest income. Whoops. Income option. Create case. All right, so that gives us a baseline. We know how soon he needs income, what he's working with, the state, male, and then let's see where we get from here. Again, nothing crazy about this one. This one's pretty straightforward, not super technical, and so we'll wait for this to build. So as you can see, when I put this in, and you can put in the case a lot of different ways. I could just type it in, but it's going to ask me clarifying questions. And so what death benefit? So we'll say just his life only. In this case, should we compare SPIA immediate with income rider? We'll go both. We'll see which one can get us the best income in this scenario. And so once it gets clarifying questions, now it's going to go and it's going to basically sort through all the different annuity products that I have access to, and it's going to start building my case. Now, the cool thing about this is it's not just going to give me like a product recommendation, say, okay, this annuity right here works. Here you go. It's going to actually build the entire case, and it's going to do the why behind it, why it's making this recommendation, and give me actual data so that I can do like a apples to apples comparison on information and numbers and income and all that. And then it's going to give me specifics to each of the products so that I can do like a thorough analysis on what's going to be the best. Then once I have that information, it's going to let me as the advisor, the trusted agent to my customer, have that what I call sales ammunition. But then also it's going to have a breakdown that I could show them as well. So in this case, basically what's cool is it's going to give me the SPIA and FIA income rider findings. It's going to give me a side-by-side on product, why in this case it went as SPIA wins in this scenario, recommendations. And so in this case, let's say that I'm not really sure between the SPIA and the FIA. And it's going to tell me right here. So in this case, it delivers meaningful higher income for Jerry's immediate needs. The gap is significant. And so you can see the breakdown between the two right here. So I have annual income of 13. So I guess significant might be a little dramatic between annual income with the A-rated ones. B plus gives me 14 and compared to 12,000 in what they're looking at. Why it wins here, it's going to tell me the top recommendations. And then it's going to give me a nice analysis right here. Why the SPIA for median income, annual income projections. We actually just added bar graphs, just FYI, to our charts. People really like bar graphs. And then my top recommendation in this case on the what is option 2, option 3, side-by-side comparison, and then key takeaways. So what's great about this is it just didn't spit out the one product and say, this is the good one because it gives the best income and here's the income. But it gives me like a whole breakdown of why it made this recommendation, and then what was the ultimate recommendation it's giving me basically. So I have that, and then if I scroll down, I can again put this into, if I want to, I could put this into a PDF. You can see I can click on the actual brochure. We clean this up a little bit and I can go into illustrations. So if I wanted to click on illustrate, that'll basically open up the illustration in a separate tab if I want to do that. But let's say that I have like questions now, or I wasn't sure on what to do. So a question that popped up, are you reading this to your client or doing screen share? That's up to you. I would say a lot of this initial, I like to prep with this, and then you can create a more kind of customer friendly one if you wanted to. And so that's up to you on how you present this. Another question that popped up is, what does convex mean? That's just a financial strength of the insurance companies, a ranking that they have. Let's say that I wanted more information from this. So I can type in and put in more information, or I could say, let's say that I would say, let's get a little more technical. Let's say based off of this, it's going to give me, and I'm just brainstorming out loud, $1,100 a month, which is how much a year? So annual income, 13,000. Let's say that I was like, hey, you know what? I wonder if we did this. Wonder if we said, do an option with, let's say 15K in a SPIA. And then actually, let's do a little more. Let's do 25K in a SPIA and 75K with a 2-year deferral. And let's see what that does for us. I'm just thinking of different ways that you could build out maybe a more comprehensive case to see if you can even get additional income in this scenario. And so before let's go to the annual numbers. We're getting guaranteed what, 13,000 and change with that Athene product. And then we'll see what it's going to do right now. If we do 25, we break it up into, oh, whoops. I'm only doing 100,000, but we'll just say it was 100,000 instead. All right, so I'll wait for this to generate these. It's going to go through a breakdown of these, and then it's going to build a different case in this that I can compare. And so as I'm waiting for this to build out, you can see, and if it's going to take too long, I'll just jump to some of the other pieces of it. All right, I'm just going to stop this because I didn't know we're getting close to the end of time and I want to respect everybody's time. So let's say that I'm good with this scenario, but I wanted to create if I come over here to prompts, these are different things that you can prompt or tell the AI to do if you don't want to type in manually. Let's say that I know in this scenario, he's really fee conscious. And if I go to objection handling and I say fees are too high, how would I talk about fees in this scenario? What it's going to do is it's basically going to take these products that it's recommended, and it's going to go through the actual fees of what they are, if there are fees, and then it's going to compare them to other potential investment vehicles that he would use in an alternative to give me a comparison, apples to apples, what it looks like fees when it comes to fees, so that I can go through everything thoroughly. And this is just an example from objections. There's a bunch of other objections that you can build out. But the reason I like to do this is because at the end of the day, when you're building out a case, we want you to feel super confident in the products that you're recommending, not just confident that you can present it cleanly, but confident that you're doing the right thing for your client. And so we want to give you all the information that you would need so that you feel good about it and you can show that you're not just throwing an annuity so you get a big commission check, but you're actually doing it to better off or basically give the client a better scenario than they could with something else. And so here's the fee breakdown of it, premium. Here's the note, here's the fee comparison. So this is basically actual fees that it's looking at. And then in comparison with other investment products that they'd be looking at, and then some other information on top of that. And I just an actual report that it's going to go into comparing to other products too, if it was looking at the bond portfolio in this scenario. So this is great because you can be like, hey, you know what, client, you've heard annuities are expensive. If you don't do an annuity, maybe you're going to do it in a bond portfolio or a mutual fund or index fund or a CD or whatever. Here's the pros and cons. Here's what you're going to gain by utilizing an annuity. Oh, and in this scenario with the SPIA, there's actually not fees. And you can show them that, and you can show them that in a transparent manner so that they feel comfortable with that. And again, it comes down to you having confidence in presenting that. We've come up on time for our masterclass today, but I hope that you can see with a breakdown of what we went through in, I don't know, 10 minutes or so, the value in that. And as you're building out the cases so that you can know that you're doing the right thing for your client, you can build out cases, you can do different examples, and then you can feel really confident when you're actually presenting it to the client. Well, like I said, initially, we do these masterclasses every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific. These are recorded, so if you had to hop off early or you wanted to go back and check out other ones, just go to our YouTube channel, Annuities Genius, and you'll see all our previous webinars. As we wrap up, any other questions that you all may have? All right, perfect. I appreciate everybody hopping on, and hopefully we see you again next Wednesday. Have a great afternoon.